Just when the train stops, I'm just going to fly.
Let's go off plan and stand there, just look at him as he walks down the train in a minute.
Quick sit. Your back's undone. Your back's
undone again. You'll get
I can't do it.
This is actually not.
No, this is over the train.
No, this when the vehicle blows up when I've seen it.
I said we can do it.
Why you're cool?
Hello!
I'm gonna touch you.
I think he thinks you could be louder than that. I'll do it one more time. We ready? All the way from the 619, please show your appreciation for Rey Mysterio! That's a welcome.
Honestly, I didn't come out because I didn't think they were loud enough. But this last time, they were pretty loud. But I think they can be even louder. So I'm going to take a sneak peek back there.
One more time? All right, you guys ready? You sure? All the way from the 619, please welcome Rey Mysterio! I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Rey Mysterio is going to take a seat. We will get to your questions, so think of some good ones. We want to interact with you guys as much as possible. Yes! I wore this neon just for you, Rey. Just for you.
It was about, what, 98 degrees? It was really hot. Now, for me, leaving San Diego, which was about 82 degrees, as soon as I arrived to London and I walk out of the plane, it's like, whoa, this is not like London. It was sunny too. Like, wow. But I've been enjoying my days. Thursday, Friday, and today, Saturday. I have one more day. Tomorrow I fly back home and I get ready for Monday Night Raw.
These people have braved the heat wave to see you, Mr. Mysterio. Now, before we get to the audience questions, I know there's a cause that's very dear to your heart. So if you could tell all of us about Fight for...
Each and every one of you for coming out here today and for having the time to sit down and hear me mumble for the next 15 minutes. So, again, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Questions over on this side. Put your hands up, please. Got one right here.
How you doing? What's your name?
Tennant.
How you doing?
Good.
All right.
My question is, if you had a choice to face someone on SmackDown Live at SummerSlam, who would it be?
Who would it be? Right away, I would have to go back and finish off what began, but there was no termination to it, and face Andrade.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gotta take you back. WrestleMania 22, triple threat match, you, Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, you win your first world title. Obviously, everything that happened last year as well with Eddie and obviously the Royal Rumble. Just tell me what your emotions winning that world title for the first time at the greatest stage of it all. I just want to know how you felt that the whole thing, the whole experience.
I've always said that Eddie's passing, in a way, was a blessing in disguise for me in my career, because our connection before Eddie passed was so tight that fans would see Eddie and they would ask Eddie, how's Ray? Fans would see me and ask me, Ray, where's Eddie? So there was a very close connection between both of us that when he passed, it hurt a lot, not only to me, but to his family members and to all of you guys, the fans, that you guys, the fans, saw Eddie through me. And that's why I say that his passing was a blessing in disguise for me, because my opportunities start to come. I win the Royal Rumble, I go to main event WrestleMania, I win the heavyweight title, and everything was happening for a purpose. And even though Eddie was no longer, we didn't have his presence, but Eddie was watching, and Eddie was very happy, and Eddie was with me throughout that home match in Chicago at WrestleMania 22. So, again, it hurts not to have had him there next to me, but at the same time, I knew he was in my heart, and I knew he was watching me and guiding me, and at the end of the day, we were enjoying it together.
Great question. Questions on this side here? Front row?
Hi, Sarah. Just love you in all the wrestling matches I've ever watched. Out of all the weird 3D styles who came out in WrestleMania, like the Joker and some other costumes I can't remember, what would you say is your favourite?
Say that again?
You know, in WrestleMania, you came out in like movie genre style.
Yes, superheroes?
Yeah, what would you say is your favourite one?
My favorite? I was asked that question yesterday, as a matter of fact. And for some reason, the Joker outfit always stood out the most. Why? Maybe because it was the first time that Rey Mysterio was doing a cosplay using a villain. You know, it always had been the superheroes, the good guys, and for the first time I was using a cosplay of a villain, a true villain, the Joker. You know, so I think I would have to say, without a doubt, when I beat JBL and I wore the Joker outfit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Super memorable. Thank you. Some questions maybe here in the back a little bit. Hi there. Yeah, got one? Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Good, good. Any tips and any advice for trainee wrestlers?
My best advice that I would give any up-and-coming wrestler, like I would give my son this advice, is always try to be unique. Always bring something different to the table that has never been seen before, because that can happen. That happened with me. It worked for me. You know, despite I was 5'4", 170 pounds, you know, my in-ring style was something that shocked the world. They had never seen someone like me before and perform at the level that I was performing. So even though the evolution of wrestling has been from here when I started up to right here, and everybody's doing high-flying maneuvers and what we call is a hybrid wrestling, there's always something that you can bring that's very different and unique that's going to make you stand out.
Nice. Fantastic. We've got a question in the back there. Black shirt. He's been very patiently holding his hand up. Thank you.
We love you so much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, throughout your career, what's your most memorable match?
throughout all of your career?
I think you guys, I think I don't know if you've seen this match, but I want to say that most of you might agree with me if you followed my career for the past 30 years. I've been wrestling for 30 years now, so Halloween Havoc, 1997. Yeah. MGM Grand against Eddie Guerrero, Mask versus Cruiserweight title. And that match to me is so special because that was the first match that put me on the map on worldwide spectrum. That's when fans were really talking about me. People that had never seen me wrestle, that would hear my name, who is this Rey Mysterio kid? Somehow, they would get an opportunity to look at me on magazines or pictures, and eventually end up following my career. So that definitely brought a lot of eyes to my fan base, which I greatly appreciate. So yeah, Halloween Havoc, 1997.
Woo! Time for one final question for Rey Mysterio. That one over here on this side. Here. Thank you, sir. 1 and 1. Okay, you and who we got this?
All right. So just saying, through your great career, you've been many places like Lucha Underground, WWE, stuff like that. Would you say that they all brought different things to yourself while learning?
They were both different what, I'm sorry?
So did you learn different things from different companies? Did that help you growing yourself?
Yeah, most definitely. I had spent 13 years with WWE before I left the first time. And a lot of people ask me, why did you leave? And I'm gonna be straight and honest with you guys. I left because my body was very tired. I was exhausted mentally and physically, and I needed a break. When I left, the opportunity to wrestle for Lucha Underground came about. It was a driving distance away. I didn't have to fly every week and leave 4 days a week from my house. So I thought that was a great opportunity for me. It was something new, up and coming, and it was part of one of the best directors that has existed, Robert Rodriguez. It was his network, it was his brand. So I thought it would not hurt, but I did learn a lot. The transition of moving from one big company to an up-and-coming company. And of course, I had the opportunity to do the first pay-per-view with AEW, you know, which was a kickoff. From there, that was literally my last show before I had re-signed with WWE. And I'm truly happy where I'm at now, because after the 13 years that I spent, and then 3 years of wrestling independent and seeing how that life was, being able to come back to my real home, which is WWE, I enjoy it much more.
And the final question here. There you go.
Hello. First of all, thanks, Ray, for inspiring me and my friends to jump off things.
Ooh.
We really wanted to be you.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
How do you feel when I first started watching you in WWE? It was a lot more big blokes grappling and all that, and we've kind of seen this evolution to the more high-flying style with your Ricochets and your AJ Styles. How have you felt about that kind of evolution to the more cruiserweight high flyers?
I honestly still have to get used to it. I love watching that hybrid high-flying style. I'm a big fan of Ricochets myself. You know, I think he's the future of this industry, and as soon as he gets the opportunity, I think he's going to make very big steps and accomplish very big things. But again, it's taken me some time to adjust to this new style, because like you said, when I came into WWE, it was a lot of mixed matches where you would see me against the Big Show, you know, size versus heart, pretty much. And that was really interesting for the fans to watch. I would love for that style to eventually come back, you know, and just maybe give a little bit, not all the time, but just see a little bit of the old school stuff. I think it's good to just mix it up, you know, every now and then. And with how Raw is going on right now, with Paul Heyman being in charge of of Raw, you can see that there's starting to have some changes, and the show is starting to become more interesting and exciting. So I'm all up for that. I love competition. I've always loved it. I love throwing down. I want to still show that at 44 years old, I can still go in there and give you a match like if I was 25 years old. So stay tuned, keep watching. Keep watching me go, man. Thanks.
You will continue to inspire all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to get back to the autographs and photo ops. Please give it up for Rey Mysterio!
619.
I have to say that I was really impressed with the cosplay. I see Mick Foley right there. I really enjoyed it. You gotta give it up. Give her a round of applause, man. That's so awesome. I love it. Mick would really love that. He would. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless, and have a good time.
Keep it going. Give it up for Rey Mysterio!